9:33 Eastern Time here, a live look at Lady Liberty in New York City. A gorgeous sight there on this Thursday morning. Markets remaining closed in observance of this Juneteenth holiday today.
But there was some news yesterday from the Fed announcing its latest policy on interest rates. Here's what the Fed Chair Jerome Powell had to say.
Inflation has come down a great deal, but has been running somewhat above our 2% longer run objective. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. We believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments.
So they're staying the same. With that, let's welcome in David Grasso, business analyst. Also here with us, Lydia Mashburn Newman, managing director of monetary economics at the American Institute for Economic Research. Welcome to you both. All right, David, start us off here. Not what President Trump wanted to hear. Right now, the Fed keeping rates between 4.25 to 4.5%.
Yeah, it's understandable for President Trump to be frustrated, but the issue is that the Fed always waits for wreckage in order to lower interest rates. And it might sound confusing to electoral politicians like our president and to the general public like us, but that's how the Fed works. And in fact, they have counterexamples. In the 1970s, they lowered interest rates too fast and it reignited inflation. So Jerome Powell doesn't want to be that guy. But of course, for political purposes, what President Trump is seeing is an active war in the Middle East that could destabilize everything. So he'd rather see the Fed be proactive. But that's just not how they work.
Yeah, Lydia, there's a lot of bullying, if you will, by the president. He called him stupid yesterday, and he acknowledged that he calls him several different names. He also said that he spoke nicely about him. He can't get him to do what he wants him to do. And some economists predicted that maybe he would drop some rates. That did not happen. Talk to us about the effectiveness of the communication by the president. Does that make a difference in terms of what Fed Chair Jerome Powell will or will not do? Do you think that had any impact on him keeping rates where they were?
Powell has been very clear that he is not influenced by pronouncements from the executive branch and that he views the Fed's independence as sacrosanct. I do think, though, that there is some sort of pressure around the Fed to keep rates steady and not bow to the pressure from Trump. But it begs the question as to whether or not is it influencing the Fed unduly in the opposite direction. We're usually concerned about executive branches saying, yes, do this for us and for the electorate. But in this case, it's a question of, is the Fed holding steady longer than they should based on trying to make the optics look better that they are not bowing to that political pressure?
Yeah, not bowing to a king, right? I thought Donald Trump was the king. So then why isn't the Fed following suit? Oh, wait, he's not. They're obviously operating as separate entities here. I know Trump joked about appointing himself, but it's not going to happen, right? Jerome Powell, at least for now, will be serving out the remainder of his term. David Grasso, Lydia Mashburn Newman, thanks for coming on with us this morning. Appreciate it.